So here we are in 2020 and we've got a bit of a virus going on. So what are some of the best practices we can use to minimise the risk as much as possible? A singer, for example, is going to be using their voice quite a lot, expelling a lot of air, and the first thing they're going to come into contact with is the pop filter in front of the microphone, like one of these. So aside from cleaning and disinfecting the pop filter, it's also a good idea not to use the same one again for the next singer. Clean it, disinfect it, put it away, and depending on how many you have, it might be weeks or months before the same one is used again. If you are a singer that's going to be going in and out of studios quite a lot, it's probably not a bad idea to go and buy your own pop filter. That way you can be sure that only you are using it. The same goes for headphones. Now most studios have quite a lot of sets of headphones and they are cleaned and disinfected in between uses. But even better than that is bringing your own set of headphones. That way you can be 100% sure that only you have used them. So what about social distancing in the studio? Most recording studios have several rooms, such as a control room or a recording space and a drum room. And normally what would happen is after a band has done a take, they would all come into the control room to listen back. Perhaps during these times we don't do that. You could stay in the various different rooms and listen back on the headphones. Not everyone needs to be in the control room at the same time. Everyone can spread out and use the studio space. It's like the more cowbell sketch. Really explore the space. We could also minimise time spent in close quarters by overdubbing. That's where not everyone is playing at the same time in the same room. Various members can go in one at a time to perform their part and then possibly even leave after they're done, minimising the time spent in close quarters. It's also possible to record your parts remotely if you have the appropriate software and computer set up at home. It's not ideal and it's not what we want, but for now this is what we've got. Mixing is another activity where not everyone necessarily has to be in the same room at the same time. In fact, it's preferable. Most engineers, producers and mixers prefer to be on their own when mixing, at least at the beginning while they're getting the mix together. Once they have something ready for you to listen to, it can be emailed directly to you to audition at home, which has another advantage. You're hearing the mix in your own listening environment where you normally consume music, giving you a much better idea of how it compares to the other music that you're normally listening to. Then, once everyone in the band has had a chance to listen, make notes, compare notes, you can then go back to the mixer and make some changes. And then if necessary, everyone can convene at the studio to make the final changes. Doing that has several advantages and massively minimises the amount of time spent physically close. It's also possible to attend a recording session virtually via video conferencing. You can listen in real time and make comments just like you would be if you're in the room. And of course, it goes without saying, if you're sick, cancel the session because it won't be going ahead. Hopefully we're going to get through this sooner rather than later so we can all get back to some kind of normal and recording sessions can return to more of a social setting the way they always have been.